Hello and welcome to another guest episode. And this episode is going to be with Gemma. She's also the empowerment coach. I don't know an awful lot of her story, but I am excited to hear it. She helps women, she helps single women rebuild their self-worth, their self-trust, and break toxic cycles to be able to find love again. So I'm excited to speak to Gemma, hear her story, hear what she does, and bring it to you. I will be back in a moment with Gemma. Alright, I am back and I am joined with the lovely Gemma, and we're just going to go straight into it. First of all, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to have you here, and I'm excited to hear your story. So, for people that don't know you, just tell us a bit about who is Gemma.
So I am a mum to a 3-year-old daughter. That's the most important thing in my life. I am a relationship and empowerment coach for women. I embarked on that journey about 5 years ago, but really started taking it seriously since my daughter. She was the
Mm.
catalyst for that. Um, so I have been through violent relationships, boring relationships, lots of family trauma and all that drama that comes with it. So I'm well versed to that. And then really took the coaching journey and started, when I got into that mindset stuff, it just blew my mind how you can
Yes.
transform your life. And it made me quit my corporate job. I was in corporate for
Wow.
17 years, bored out of my skin.
Mm. Absolutely. Amazing. So obviously you said that you work with women now. What we're going to go all the way back. So these pods have all kind of followed the same sort of idea. Obviously they've all been very different stories, but um, the first we're going to just go back to like before you started doing all this work. Like who was Gemma in that unsure, if you like, stage?
Also,
You
the
can go back as far
unsure.
as you like.
Okay, so I mean, a bit of background. I am a council house kid.
Mm,
My parents divorced, but luckily they was good friends, so it wasn't that kind of
that's good.
fractured dynamic. So that was
Mm,
positive. I was a drama student, a singer, and I got to a place in university to do drama and English, and I chickened out. So that
wow.
was the whole start of holding myself back, going, I can't do this, I've got no confidence, and I'm not good enough. So I didn't go to uni. Probably one of the
Wow.
things I say, I have a mantra, nothing's a mistake, it's a choice. And I firmly believe in that. There's no
Hmm.
such thing as a mistake. And I chose not to go and always questioned it ever since. And I was always trying to go back to that point of being as happy as I was when I was performing, and I
Yeah.
just couldn't get there. So then I was a bit of a geek. I was the only virgin. I was a bit of a frigid girl and kept thinking there's something wrong with me. I'm
Mm,
18. I've never had a boyfriend, so there's obviously a problem. And
yeah.
it was this guy, we went to a party and my friends introduced me to him. And I was like, who is that? Why would you think that would be my type? I wasn't even interested. I wasn't attracted to him. He actually repulsed me, if anything. Um, so there you go. This is where I start going, okay, this is cray cray. Because then at the party, someone threw a brick through the window and he
Mm,
leapt in front of me to defend me. And that was it. Sold. I
yeah.
thought, what a hero. Wow, a
Mm,
protector. And that's everything I need. So we got into a relationship, and within 3 weeks, I'd heard he'd cheated on me. And I was like,
oh,
no,
jeez.
oh, no, no, not him. No, he's told me he doesn't. He swore
Yeah.
on his life, so he couldn't have done that.
Hmm.
Um, and then gradually, what happened, he had a very volatile relationship with his family, and they kicked him out. So we went to live with my mum. And then I was
Jeez.
very much, I need to protect this guy because I
Mm,
see so much good in him and he needs looking after, and his family don't treat him well, obviously being 18 and a little bit naive. So I got a
mm,
flat with him and I funded the whole lot because he didn't have a job.
yeah.
And then that's when the violence started.
Okay.
Obviously, you're on your own then. And then it started things like your family doesn't like me. So it's really
Mm,
difficult for us to be around your family because they hate me. Your
yeah.
friends don't like me. And then I had boyfriends at the time, and well, if they come near you,
Yeah.
I'll beat them up because they're men and you're
Yeah.
not having men near you. So
Hmm.
gradually, I went out a couple of times with my girlfriends, and we was in a
Hmm.
pub, and he would ring and then he'd say, I can hear men there. And I'd
Mm.
be like, yes, I'm in a pub. I can't control the footfall that's in there. There are men here. And then it would just be abusive. Get home now, or I'm going to come and create a scene and beat everybody up. So in the end, I just didn't go out.
Mm.
And then it
Yeah.
was in that cycle of being trapped. And luckily, it only lasted for 2 years.
Okay.
And he actually left me,
Okay.
which was amazing. But it
Mm-hmm.
was cold turkey. So he just took all the so we had to leave the flat because I couldn't keep up the payments.
Yeah.
So I was left in a lot of debt because obviously he didn't contribute to anything. And he
Mm-hmm.
had the contents of my flat in his shed. And I
Mm-hmm.
went back to the police to get it. And they said, there's nothing they could do. We're trespassing on his property.
Jeez.
So I lost everything. And then he just cold turkey cut me out.
Okay.
So that took a long, long time to rebuild. Now, I mean, I think a good 10 years to rebuild from that.
Yeah.
And then
For
what
sure.
happened was at 23, so 5 years later, my mum decided to sell our family home and move to
Okay.
Somerset from Kent. And
Okay.
I didn't want to go. So I was totally uprooted. I didn't want to leave my friends. I'd just been made redundant. So it was
Jeez.
like my whole life had flipped upside down and it was out of my control. You know, it's her
Mm-hmm.
house, she's moving. So I thought, right, well, I'm not going to the countryside. I'll emigrate to Malta where my auntie lives.
Right.
I'd done 3 weeks there, saw a real life nun, and it was very quite strict, different to
Yeah.
me. I didn't speak the language, and I thought, well, it was a fantasy to live in the sun, but I don't think I'm cut out for this.
Yeah.
I went back to my dad in London, and I'm not a city girl. And
Mm.
I've certainly discovered that now. So in the end, I did end up moving with my mum to Somerset and lived in a bedroom in a pub
Okay.
for 6 months. Totally went off grid, wasn't like just working for my keep there. And it was a really exciting time. And actually, it was a total reset
Mm.
to get away from everything and everyone I'd known, all my old habits, and just really restart my life. And then I got a job down in Somerset and started making friends and coming back into my own character again and finding that fun girl that I'd lost, because prior to
Yeah.
that he would say things like, oh, you pull funny faces like that, you're ugly, or you act like
Mm.
that, you're stupid, and all of those things that they say. And then I
Mm-hmm.
met a new man probably about 9 months after I'd moved to Somerset, and he was so kind and lovely, and he was really, really pursuing me. So that
Mm-hmm.
attention was great.
Mm-hmm.
But we had nothing in common at all. He was a farmer, and
Right.
I don't even like animals to a degree. Like, I'm not into that. I've never done this, but he was so kind.
Yeah.
And I knew he would never hit me.
Mm.
So I thought, well, this is going to be the better option to go for somebody like that.
Yeah.
But what transpired was 4 years of an on-off relationship. Didn't really like each other, didn't share any values, didn't share any interests. So it was more like a
Mm.
friendship and a safety net. And in the end, I'd started coming into my own in the workplace, you know, started leveling up, getting promoted, and was traveling with my friend a lot and going out on girls' nights. And I just thought, I don't even enjoy coming home. And I'd
Mm.
sit with my headphones on in the dining room whilst he was in the front room, avoiding him.
Mm.
And to me, a relationship is he's got to be your best friend and
Yeah.
make you want to do your best. And in that time, I'd put on so much weight. So I'd blown up to a size 22.
Okay.
And
Because you
there's
were
photos
unhappy.
of me in action eating burgers like this with a massive face. And I was
Mm-hmm.
just so unhealthy, just emotionally
Yeah.
eating to fill the void and scared to let him down, you know, feeling shame, disappointment, guilt of hurting somebody so nice.
Mm.
But in the end, I made that decision and I had to leave. So I got
Mm-hmm.
my own flat, and it was terrifying, I must admit. And I thought, how am I going to do this? I've never been on my own. I've always had my mum there, or somebody's always been there to support me. And
Mm-hmm.
I just remember coming home on my own in the dark, like, oh my God, and
Mm.
there's nothing here and there's no one there and it's silent. So at first, yeah, terrifying. And then I
Yeah.
really got into it, and I remember tightening a window handle on my own for the first time. And I thought,
Mm.
yeah. Like, I'm
Yes.
liking it. And just really enjoyed it and started enjoying coming home and thinking, this is my place. I can do what I want when I want. I don't answer to anybody. I'm going on a holiday, living the best life. But there was still something in me that was like, I do want a partnership.
Yeah.
I'm very much a relationship person. I want love. I want to experience that. And now I've done all the dating apps, all the Tinder
Mm-hmm.
dick pictures and things like that you get. And it's great. It's great for the ego at first, isn't it? And you're like, yeah,
I don't know about
so
the
many
dick pics. They're
smiles.
certainly not great for the ego.
Oh,
Just like that.
I know. Sometimes they're like, they don't even introduce themselves. You just swipe
Oh,
and connect, and then
not
you get
okay.
that. You're like, whoa.
Absolutely not okay.
No, but that's the new way of communicating. Well, that was the new way of communicating
Ew.
back then. Like, here's my bits. Yeah, not down for that. So
No.
I'd done it for a while and I went on a couple of dates and thought, I just want to feel confident dating again
Mm.
and all of that. But I felt like they expected me to perform. And
Mm.
and it felt very much in that realm. So I thought, I'm not getting the kind of connection that I want, and I'm not feeling good about myself.
Yeah.
And it's really coming down to that moment, isn't it? Going like, why am I doing something to myself that I'm really unhappy with? It's
Yeah, yeah.
actually, it made me feel so bad about myself
Mm.
because you'd have horrible comments, or even that thing of you swipe someone and they wouldn't swipe you back. It just leans
Mm.
into that whole thing of I'm not good enough. So
100%.
I think it was a New Year's Eve. I had all my friends, my mum had her partner and everything, but everyone was too busy for me. And I
Mm.
felt like you're surrounded by all these people, but ultimately you're alone. How do
Mm.
you deal with that? So it ended up being the best New Year's Eve I've ever had. I watched the fireworks by myself. I had some chicken nuggets because that was my thing right then. And I just thought, I'll just watch the fireworks and go to bed. And in that time, I started writing a list about myself, who I
Okay.
was as a
Yeah.
friend, what I liked about me, what qualities I had, what made me a great person, what would make me a great partner. And that
Mm-hmm.
was the start of it. And just so empowering being on my own, in my
Mm.
own place, and having that confidence going, actually, I don't need anybody. Anybody
Mm.
I have in my life is actually a choice. And
Mm.
you're either going to enhance it or you're not going to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the stage where I'd got to eventually, I think, after just giving so much to everybody and relying so much on validation from other people
Yeah.
and for other people to be there. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
was about. And then after that, I really started to get clear on my partner. So I'd done all
Yeah.
the vision boards and I wrote a specific list about him, what job he had, what color hair he had, what his family was like, what his values were. And I'm kidding you not, 6 weeks later, I got invited on a night out and I thought, I can't be bothered. I thought, I'm just going to go out and have a good time. I didn't even get dressed up. I thought, I'm just going to go out because I can't be
Yeah.
bothered.
Yeah.
I'm half-assed, not in the mood. Went to the pub and this guy was at the bar. And it was just randomly went up to him and I said, do you like steak and do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
That was my
That was your
that
two
was
things.
my rigorous checklist at that time. That's what I wanted. And he did, so it was all fine. And I remember leaving there, and there's so many rules to dating, and everyone was going, you
Mm-hmm.
mustn't text him straight away.
Mm. Game playing and all that. Yeah.
Oh, and at the same time, his friends were going, don't text her. Well, we was
Mm.
texting each other the minute we got in the taxis from the pub, saying
Mm-hmm.
what a great night, and it was immediate. And then we have spoken every day since, and we are now 9 years next month.
Oh, wow. Lovely. What a story. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And we have a
Amazing.
3.5-year-old girl. So absolutely
Uh,
proud.
Amazing. Just goes to show them that like sometimes it's just these things just happen. They just align. They just line up, don't they? So if we go back to when you were in like your kind of like your the depth of despair, if you like when you were really at a kind of not a very positive place, what was happening in your life or relationships that looking back was a bit of a cry for a change?
Yeah, I think I was so desperate.
Yeah.
And that was the weakness. I was
Mm.
so desperate to be
That
loved and
validation.
accepted.
Yeah.
by anyone or anything, and the
Mm.
slightest thing I would latch onto. So even friendships, I would give money, I would be driving
Yeah.
people around, oh, I'll be there for you, just constant, and probably so much in their space that it was suffocating because I
Yeah.
needed them, and
It's
it
like
was
a
like, oh,
neediness.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, 100%. What patterns do you think kept? So obviously, life has patterns, isn't it? That's what we do. So, what patterns were you feeling that were keeping repeating for you in your love life before anything actually shifted? What was the pattern that was repeating? Was it just that need for validation, that need for love? Didn't really matter what it looked like.
Yeah, and I think, and even though I say my parents split and it was amicable, at the end of the day, like, my dad wasn't there.
Yeah, yeah,
And his way of showing love is through gifts.
yeah,
That is not the emotionally available, like we didn't talk about feelings as such. And it's now,
yeah,
I'm 38 soon.
mm,
Now we talk about it in the
yeah,
30s, but back then it was just, oh, I love you, here's a cake or here's a drum set.
yes, yeah.
And
And
he
it's
would be
funny.
away.
Yeah, it's funny how I speak about this quite a lot about like the kind of conditioning, like how you then take on that from what your caregivers were, sort of a thing. You take on the way in which they view the world, really, don't you? But it's incredible how these slight things can have such a massive, massive impact on like how you see yourself. I would say my family were quite similar. Like they they were always at Christmas time. Mum and Dad would get in a debt just to have all these things that we don't extra telly, a new bigger telly, da da da. Like for that, it's that validation, isn't it? It's that like keeping up with the Joneses and all that, and we must have all this sort of stuff. And for a long time, I would say, as a parent, you then take on a lot of the same parenting until you start to open your eyes up and see the world in a different way. So I had my children quite young. So because I was so young, I was still very much in that space, like that kind of like even the other conditioning, like with food's a big one. Like the things like, oh, there's children in Africa that are starving, you need to eat your da da da, all this sort of stuff that you would like. I would then put upon my children because that was my learned behaviour, and it wasn't until I actually opened up and started really, really delving into growth and to understanding the brain and the body and all that much more that I was actually like, no, I can't say that to my kids. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's funny how it's just what you accept because it's what you've always known, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because with food in particular, he's also a bit of a feeder, my dad. So he
Mm,
would, if I wanted at 10 years old, I would say, I want a chocolate ghetto. He would buy me a whole one, and it
yeah.
was acceptable for me to sit there and eat the whole thing. And his thing
Mm,
stemmed from he came from a life of lack. At some point in his life, he had the hand-me-downs, and he's
yeah.
always drummed it into us. My kids will never not have the best of the best because
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
Like you
mean a
say,
cake like
like you say, and that can still have a negative effect, can't it? Because it's like then you're shown this love through materialistic things rather than actually through the stuff that really matters, and then that the knock-on effect that has on you, even like that the relationships that you choose is massive. Like if somebody, so like by the sounds of it, your that first boyfriend you had sounded like he was quite narcissistic.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And
So
it's
even like that, go on, then you
yeah.
go. What you got to say?
I was going to say, just because I love the family patterns and cycles,
Mm.
now from an outside view, when I look at his dad, I go, oh, I could
Ding,
get
ding,
it.
ding, ding, ding. Yeah, 100%, 100%. But
And I
that's like
never
that's
blame him. I don't blame him.
no.
I honestly come with a pure heart and forgiveness, and I get it. I don't have to
Mm,
agree with your behavior. I certainly don't. But
mm.
I understand why he was the way he
Oh,
was.
100%. And that's obviously how we've connected so thingly, is because my story is very similar. Like I'm very similar with the person that I was with. Like I don't actually have, people would think if you were in that position where you were being abused in any way, it doesn't matter whether it was physical or emotional or whatever, that you would have this vendetta, or you would have this like almost like resentment or whatever. But I think you do get to a place when you start to understand, you get to a place of being like, do you know what, people are the way they are because of what they have experienced, and you don't need to agree with it, you don't need to like accept it, but you also don't need to have resentment or rage to it, because if you do, you're only actually making your own self have that negativity. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not going to change their life. So yeah, it's absolutely, it's massive, isn't it? Having these realizations and understanding the way people behave and the reason they behave, it doesn't mean to say it's okay, but it's so crucial for moving forward. It's so crucial for like letting go and releasing that from your own energy, isn't it?
It makes you ill. And I never
100%.
realized how poorly it was making me.
Mm-hmm.
And anger's okay. Like anger's an okay emotion. You're right, it's good to feel anger, and it is good, it's normal to feel angry about a situation like that, because you're also grieving something that you thought it could have been.
Yeah.
Grief
So,
is a loss, heartbreak, it's the worst. But
yeah.
I was so, so angry. And then I
Mm.
was turning a hatred towards all men. And I
Yeah.
wanted to get out, get drunk, and hurt men. I
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
became a violent person after that experience through sheer
Mm-hmm.
anger. And that's
Yeah.
not me. And then
Yeah.
comes with that is a lot of shame and guilt, because, well, they say, don't they, the bullied become the bully at
Yeah.
times.
For sure.
And that's
For
how I,
sure.
and I remember my jaw used to clench. I'd be like rigid, my back would hurt,
Yeah.
vomiting, all sorts.
And this is what people don't recognise, even if you're not expressing it, like it is in your body somewhere. That whatever that emotion is, it's in your body somewhere, and I think it's something that people don't recognise, because they're just like, oh, just let's just suppress, let's just ignore it. But ultimately, it's like you say, it's creating something. It's going to manifest in some way, shape, or form, even if you don't express it, isn't it?
Yep.
100%. So let's talk about like the wake up moment, if you like. So was there like a real key moment, relationship or breakdown, that became the turning point, like the moment that you were like, I can't keep living like this, and you shifted? Or was it
I
like a gradual thing?
It was quite gradual. So the first step was leaving the second partner and
Yeah.
having the courage to do that, and really going, no, I am unhappy and I'm
Mm-hmm.
hurting him and wasting his time. And I think that was more the driver for me rather than
Yeah,
myself.
yeah, yeah,
I'm really hurting somebody here and I don't want to be that person. So that was the start of it. And the next bit was that New Year's Eve, where I've
yeah,
gone, you're so dependent on everybody else and nobody's got the time for you. And you
yeah,
internalize it into victim mode, like no one's got the time for me. It's
yeah.
not that. Everybody's got their own life and they are entitled to spend their New Year's Eve how they want to, whether that's with
Mm-hmm.
partners or whatnot. I would do the same. I do the same. I spend it with my partner.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you rely on other people to give me happiness.
yeah, yeah, for
Make me
sure.
feel good. So that was the big point where I'd say that was the positive turning point for me.
Yeah. And how long ago was that?
That was 10 years ago.
Okay.
So it
So
was
it's been
just, no, 9,
9
because it
years.
was just before I met
Just
my
before you
partner.
met your husband, your partner, that's right. What was the hardest truth that you had to face about yourself in that moment, or in that season?
That I always thought I was mature, but I failed to take responsibility for myself. And
Mm.
I would actively blame everybody else for everything that happened to me and wouldn't
Mhm.
take accountability for anything.
Mhm. 100%. It's so crucial, isn't it? Taking that accountability and just and putting it on yourself. Like, what can I do? Because I think some of us are always looking, especially in those circumstances. So, like for instance, your previous partner, or even both of them actually, like you are looking externally, aren't you? Like at other people and how maybe you want to change them, especially with any sort of abusive relationship. It's very much like you see potential and you want to be the guiding light that they change, like they change for and all that sort of stuff. But the reality is, you cannot change, like you cannot control anybody. You can only control yourself, isn't it? So until you can actually open that up and be like, right, what can I do in this circumstance? What works for me? What lights me up? What doesn't work for me? And actually get to the truth as well. Like sometimes we live in this untruth, doesn't it? Like we're telling ourselves these wee stories just to either whether that's to keep up with external expectation or whatever it may be. But like you say, it's taking that accountability is the first step, isn't it? Really, for any form of transformation.
Yeah, and I like that about not changing people, because I really believe,
Mm,
like, who are you as any person got a right to try and change somebody? Whether
mm,
you think they're good or bad, that is nothing to do with us as people, because no
yeah,
one's got the right to do that to you either. So I
yeah.
firmly believe in that, but wholeheartedly win him thinking I would transform him. Yeah, you're
Oh,
being,
it's,
I don't know,
you were the
honestly.
angel. You were the guiding light that was going to make him be like, ah.
Oh,
It's so funny how we tell ourselves these stories, isn't it? So, what did like doing the work actually look like for you in the beginning? So, at the very beginning, you obviously said on that New Year's, you started to write out like who you were, what was amazing about you. What was then like the next kind of steps? I feel like not the polished version, like the messy version, because we all know that transformation is not linear. It's not shiny. It's not rainbows and sunshine. Like, so what was the messy, uncomfortable parts?
so the next part was I was on this mission then to discover my purpose. I wanted to
Mm,
know what life was all about. So I started unknowingly following coaches in the industry,
mm,
reading self-help books and going like, I just want to make a change in my life for positive. And I want to start thinking positively, because I was recognizing you're so negative.
mm.
Say you're depressed, and I'm not clinically depressed. It was like, no, it's circumstantial. What I'm
Yeah.
doing for myself is the stories I'm telling myself, the fact that I'm not putting myself out there, I'm just blaming the world and I'm angry at the world. And I wasn't
Mm,
taking any action. So it was
mm,
following coaches, starting to read self-help books and looking at what my purpose was and think,
mm.
what's the direction next? So then I stumbled accidentally onto this coach, and I didn't even know what a coach was back then. This was before I met my partner. So
Yeah.
what's this about? And she was just getting down to like, what are you good at? What do you enjoy? What are your values? What are your beliefs in life? And
Yeah.
it's at that point you go, well, I've never thought about it.
Yeah.
I've never sat with myself and thought about who I am. I just lived on autopilot, doing
Yeah.
what's expected of me, turning up to work, being a good girl, doing a good job,
Mm,
staying quiet, keeping the peace. And that is how I'd lived my entire life. So
mm,
not until I saw this coach that I started to unpick, well, what do I believe in? What
mm.
do I like doing? And then I started getting into just doing arts and crafts again, reading books because that's what I enjoyed. I
Yeah.
went to promotion at work. I started going out. I went to a coffee shop by myself, which sounds stupid,
No,
but
I
at that
totally get
point
you.
for
Hmm.
me, I just thought, well, if I go in a coffee shop, people are going to think I'm a right weirdo, sat here by myself looking out the window. And now I really enjoy it.
So
And
then,
I would rather my partner didn't come to the shop with me, because I'm like, no, no,
yeah.
leave me to it. I want to be by myself. I
Yeah.
love it now. But at
Uh-huh.
first, the anxiety coming from going,
Mm,
I'm going to go and order a coffee. And I drank it so quick because I was so
yeah.
terrified of
Finished.
being, oh, look, I've done it and I've done a good job. I'm out. So yeah, it was going out with people, holidays, and then meeting my partner. So my journey has been a 10-year journey.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing, it's a collection of little things over
Yeah.
time. And I think the biggest transformation was becoming a mum.
Mm,
That
100%.
it totally shocked me.
Mm,
It shocked everybody else. I was such a party girl. It shocked everyone else I had a baby, because they just
yeah.
thought I was living it up forever. And I was 34 when I had her, so a bit older.
Hmm.
Um, I tried to go back to corporate after I had her, and I
Mm.
could. So the first day in the office, I was phoned up. She was sick in nursery. You need to come back. The second day
Yeah.
again,
Yes.
come back. Yeah. But then it's
Yeah.
like, no, make up your hours. And I'm thinking, no, like I can't pull hours out my arse. It's not going to happen. I can't give you more hours than what
Yeah.
I've got. And it was that pressure. And I think when you become a mum, that total loss of identity,
Mm.
and people don't often talk about it enough. It's such a grief that I can't
Mm.
explain. Like, you're so unbelievably happy. And then the
Mm.
next part, you're like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what day it is. I don't know how I feel. I
Yeah.
want to go back to this old version and I can't. So she
Yeah.
really was the catalyst for change, because I could never go back to old Gemma at all.
Yeah. 100%.
Like drinking Gemma, partying Gemma, she's
Mm.
gone. So I had
Yeah.
to grieve the loss of that. And I also had postnatal depression and didn't realise it wasn't caught on.
Okay.
Um, and then I went for a bout of counselling. And I have firmly, I tell you, my whole entire life I've been against counselling, because
Mm.
I don't want to sit in the past and talk about crap and rehash everything. It doesn't
Yeah.
work. For whatever reason, this particular time, it clicked.
Mm.
And I really got something out of this counselling session. And then I had the opportunity, being on leave, to really look at coaching, and a
Mm-hmm.
webinar came up about it. And I never considered it as a job to do. I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to help myself. And I
Mm-hmm.
just found it so fascinating. When you
Yeah.
learn about it, you're like, the patterns in your brain, your childhood, trauma,
Yeah.
everything is all related. It's all connected to everything. And then you start going into energy work. And then I'm looking at things going, this isn't even solid. It's not even real. And it's just like, wow. And I want to
Um,
do something positive. And that
yeah.
was it. So for me, this journey, this has been a 10, 15-year journey, gradual, of healing.
Mm.
And obviously, since becoming a mum, my relationship with my own mother's changed.
Mm.
I have a newfound respect
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I didn't have before.
Yeah.
And we've got closer because I spent many years angry at her,
Yeah.
especially from 18 onwards. I was very angry at my mum.
Yeah. Like you say, it's so crucial to point that out. Like, transformation is not like a magic wand. Hey, but like, I'm healed. Doesn't work like that. It's so crucial to say that it is a long process. And mine started like very similar to yours. It was books. It was like learning. It was understanding and learning and reading books, and then like that, getting a coach and all these different things. And it's like the next level, and then it's the next level. And I think it's another thing is to say is like, it's also never ending. It's like you're constantly evolving and constantly growing, or not. Like, if you choose not to, then you're not. But like, if you're in a transformational journey or a healing journey or whatever you want to call it, personal development journey, like, there is not a glass ceiling. It's just continuous, which is a beautiful thing, which is an amazing thing. And when you spoke about the shifting into motherhood, I could not. I've done a post recently about so my two are a wee bit older now, so I had them quite young. So my oldest is 17 and my youngest is 14, which that has a whole nother identity shift, because like that, when they're younger, you are their everything and they need you and they want you, like, look here, look here, look here, and you're like, going to shut up, whatever, going through that stage, right? Like I totally remember it. But then see when that stops, so like you're like, it does become a, huh, do you know what I mean? Like, where are they? Because they're now two of them upstairs, they're in the rooms, whatever, do you know what I mean? So it's funny how, and I wrote this on that post, like, your identity shifts alongside your kids. So as they go from baby to toddler your identity totally shifts, and then when they get to that older, where they don't really need you, but they still need you, but they don't like to tell you that they need you, it's another whole big who am I thing. Like, it really is. It's incredible how that shift then happens again. So how did your relationship with love change once your relationship with yourself changed?
It was because it came from a point of choosing,
Yes.
not a place of need or desperation. And I was very firm on that. And I had it written down, like, whoever comes into my life is a choice. And I know I
Hmm.
don't need somebody. So it really is about enhancing life. They're going to need to be a teammate. And when it
Yeah.
was that, I'm okay alone. And
Yeah.
I always say to him that, like I say to him, I'm not awful to him, but I always let him know, like, you are a choice. And
Mm.
I don't know, I can cut off. I am very emotional, but I think
Mm.
because I've been through what I've been through,
Yeah.
that is the boundary for me.
Yeah. And that's so crucial. And it's having
One of
boundaries
those
and having
daily.
standards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. And even like you say, doing those little things by yourself, like they going to the coffee shop, or like they going to the pictures, or like whatever it is, they do create this like strength. They really do, like this empowering strength. Like you're like, I can do it. I can do anything. Do you know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
do get that. You do totally get that vibe. And like you say, it's nice to be from you having this partnership, but it's came from a place of not need. It's came from a place of I actually want you, rather than it being like I need you for my own validation, isn't it?
And I
But
like him. That
yeah,
helps. Because you have to like him.
absolutely. What was the biggest difference in how you showed up once you no longer needed love to prove your worth? What was the biggest difference for you in how you just showed up in your life when you didn't need that?
I wasn't paranoid about the texting thing anymore.
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
you didn't text back, I would be spiraling. In my head, he's somewhere else, doing something
yeah.
else, doesn't care about me, he's not thinking about me. And then now I was like, able to rationalize and go, he probably is just busy.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not that he doesn't care. How do you respond to people? And trying to
mm,
look at it from an outside perspective, if it was you on the outside, how do you respond to people and why are you slow at replying to people? Because you
yeah,
have something going on. So I do the box breathing as well
mhm,
because I need to just calm for a minute. But it's
yeah,
taken years, you know, I didn't go
yeah,
into the relationship perfect. I obviously
yeah,
still have trauma. And I would say to anyone, you're never cured from it.
yeah,
It's awareness. So you are aware of it, you're aware of your triggers, and that's key. But
yeah,
there isn't a cure for it because it's
yeah,
happened, it's in you.
yeah,
It's how you choose to work through it. So for that, yeah, rationalizing with the text, that was a good thing. And
yeah,
actually him having a separate life to mine. So he would go out on his weekends away. And it was learning to trust somebody
yeah,
because
yeah,
trust is huge. And I didn't have
massive.
trust in
Yeah,
people,
yeah, yeah,
let alone
100%.
men. I just thought people just let you down.
Yeah,
And I've
yeah,
always been told if things are too good to be true, it probably is.
yeah.
That's one of the oldest sayings, but that's always stuck with me and thinking, yeah,
Mm.
it feels really nice. This feels really safe. So
So what's
it
wrong?
probably,
Yeah,
yeah, he's
yeah,
lying about something.
yeah. It's funny how these things they just stay with you, don't they, until you can learn to unlearn them, really. And like you said, like with the healing, you're never like anybody that says they're healed. You're like, come on, like it doesn't work like that. But it's like you say, it's about learning to have certain tools and certain things that you can regulate yourself because we are emotional beings, so we're naturally going to be like we are going to be emotional about things, and if you weren't, then probably there would be more to dig down there, wouldn't there? But like having those tools, like you say, the breathing or whatever tool that may be, is so crucial for you to not hit that total like bucket. This total like monkey. What they say that the monkey brain into it, like this total like absolutely chaotic emotional psychopath. And let's face it, like we've probably all been there at some point where somebody's called you a psycho because you've just went.
He was, yeah, no, I was a psychopath.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's crazy, isn't it? So who are you now that you couldn't access back then? What is it about you that now that you couldn't access back then? Is it that like just being so strong in your own worth?
Yeah, I think it's this fierce independence, and I had
Mm,
such high walls up
mm,
that I almost became, I always called it a black heart. And I actually went and saw a psychic, and she actually grabbed my hands and she said, "Don't close your heart." She did, and it was
oh,
really weird and random. She said, "I know what's going on. Don't close yourself because it's a
mm-hmm.
big heart." But I did anyway. I didn't listen to
Yeah,
her because I mean, I don't listen.
yeah,
It's one of my things. I don't take instructions. And yeah, I was just closed off, felt nothing, and really it was soulless. So it was about softening,
yeah.
and
And
that
like,
is really hard.
yeah,
Be-
it's that surrender, isn't it? It's that being open to because also you're opening something to be hurt again potentially, isn't it? It's like that surrender to this might go wrong, but it also might go right. So it's like allowing whatever to be, isn't it? And like you said about the counselling, yeah, absolutely. I suppose about the counselling, you probably weren't ready to hear it all those years ago. Whenever before, whereas but that was when you were ready to hear it, and that's how it landed, probably as well.
that's how I think therapy works.
Yeah,
Is there's so many different therapies. You really have to be ready for it.
yeah,
I do hypnotherapy now, and that's one of my favorite. I love having it done.
love it.
I
Yes,
love, and I do think it's made a difference in me. But
yeah,
again, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have known what it was. So
yeah.
that is wasted at that point. Same with the counselling, it was wasted at that point.
Yeah. I
Just
think with any of these things, you need to be open, don't you? If you're like, that's a lot of shite, there's no way it's going to, you're going to, it's going to
yeah,
land with you. But do you know what I mean? Like the hypnotherapy, like I also trained in that, and I love it. Like I absolutely love it. But some people are like, what shite? Like, how can you just close your eyes and do it? Like, and that's okay. Like people can have their own opinions for whatever reason. But like that, I wouldn't have even all that I knew about hypnotherapy about 10 years ago was like the comedians on the stages. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? And it was not until you actually,
Yeah.
it's not until you actually go in and you really go deep into it that you're like, oh my God, like it is absolutely fascinating what you can do with your mind. It's absolutely fascinating. I am in awe of it. So let's talk about now where you are now, looking back. What do you wish that you could tell the woman you were in that season when you were like really unsure and that you're
In that season, like you
mm,
are good enough and you're going to be
mm,
okay and you are capable. You just need
mm,
to let yourself try.
mm,
Don't be defeatist. At least try before you cancel it out and say you can't do it.
yeah, yeah,
That's what I would do. I wouldn't even
yeah.
try because I just automatically think I wouldn't be good enough. I'll fail.
Mm.
But you
See that?
absolutely,
Do you find that me as usual I go off on a tangent? I knew I was going to go off on one. I'm actually surprised I didn't already. But do you find like I know with the work that I do with a lot of women that not being good enough is massive. Like all the stories that are holding them back. If I was to be honest, and I would say the crux of majority is either not feeling good enough or not having trust with it, like from themselves, let alone for anybody else. Do you find that that's a lot of the stuff that you work with?
yeah, not good enough is the biggest one.
Yeah, I
And
would
across
agree.
the board, you speak to any coaches in any kind of niche that they work in, not good enough is the biggest thing. And even as I do this work, I come in, step into business like this, and this is what I mean about not being cured. I'm on another level of life. I'm on another journey now, and that
Mm,
up and going, I'm not good enough for this. So it's not a cure. It's like, how are we going to work through this and push
yeah,
through it?
yeah, 100%. What do you know now about love that you could only learn by walking through that journey?
Love is real and love is key. Love is everything. And we need to spread more love in the world. It does exist. There are good people in the world. There are people with pure hearts and good hearts. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't mean having to sacrifice yourself.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's what people do think, isn't it? They think that they have to sacrifice something within themselves in order to have that or receive that or like that be worthy
But when
of
it's
that
good,
love.
I can say from the relationship I have now, we don't really argue. We do bicker, that's normal.
Mm,
We're not the same person. We have disagreements, but it's someone who absolutely wants the best for you,
mm,
holds you at all points. And even those things where you go, I don't want to open up or be a burden or be vulnerable, it's that person who holds that space for you,
mm,
who loves you and sees everything. I mean, your partner that you choose, they're going to be a whole other level to your best friends. Because I always look at
mm.
it like it's like, who's going to be wiping my ass when I'm old? Like, if I'm really sick, it's not going to be my girlfriend. He's going to have to give me a bath
Aye,
at some point, and that is so vulnerable. So, vulnerability is everything, and having that trust in somebody.
yeah,
And that trust is a really tricky thing because when it's broken, it's so heartbreaking. But if
yeah,
you trust again and throw yourself all in, you should throw yourself all in because if it works, it's unreal. If it
mm,
doesn't work, it's not a place where you're going to beat yourself up because it didn't work. All
yeah,
you've got to live by
100%.
is you put 100% in, you gave it all. And if it didn't
Mm,
work, it didn't work. But don't let that dampen your trust or your belief in
yeah.
love.
And what I'll ask is, because probably a lot of people who listen to this will be thinking, that's all well and good. You've got this great relationship and whatever. See when you were at that beginning of that relationship where you did lack the trust and you did have these big walls up. How did you find that transition of of surrendering? Like how what was did you do anything specifically, or was it a gradual thing, or what happened in that shift? Does that make sense?
It was a gradual thing
Mhm.
because it was communicating with him and being open and saying, "Oh, look, I'm feeling this way, and I don't want to come across as a mental crazy person, but this is how I'm feeling." So communication is key, and
Mhm.
that is part of your vulnerability as well. Because I know it's uncomfortable to share that with people in case they run away because they might think.
Yeah.
But it was gradual, and I think we've been together such a long time. It wasn't an instant, it's a relationship that you're building. And I
Yeah.
think we have so much high expectations on romantic relationships. Do you go into a friendship with the girls feeling the same way, thinking the same things, putting them on a pedestal like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're human. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was a real gradual thing. And I would say after 2 years, I felt really like, okay, and that seems a long time, but there is no fix for it.
Yeah. 100%. And I suppose as well, like it's you obviously spoke about being quite honest, like you're quite raw and open and honest, and probably a lot of people, like you say, are fearful of doing that in case, like sometimes I think people put a little bit of a mask on, not like in a narcissistic way, but like in a like they want that person to like them, and actually when you do that, when that mask eventually, because nobody's perfect, let's face it, like, but when that slips, then that's the real version of you and the real version of them and so on and so forth. And then that's maybe when you're 6 months or a year down the line where you're like, oh, actually, you're not who I thought you were. So, and then that's how these things don't then work out because you've not actually just been authentically yourself from the offset.
It's hard, and I don't think you will be authentically yourself from the
Yeah.
offset. I really think that's a myth because we're all on our
Okay.
best behaviour first. So I wore makeup and done all that to be impressive at first, and then
Yeah.
after 6 weeks, then I was farting and doing the normal things, and I was quite
Mm.
comfortable doing that. But at first, no, I'm not going to fart or do anything. I'm going to be a lady and
Yeah.
and then everybody puts on a mask. I think the real
Yeah.
test is when you live with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
And you can't keep it up. And that's still, we focus so much on the things not working, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Don't hang on so long hoping that you're going to change them or you will
Mm.
change. You
Yeah.
don't need to change.
Yeah, and that's that whole back to being the fear of failure, isn't it? And then because if you feel that you've failed, you're then not it then impacts that whole feeling of not feeling good enough, doesn't it? And it's like that whole cycle continues over and over again. So for
Yeah.
the women who are listening to this who do feel stuck in those same sort of loops that you were in, what would be the first thing you would tell them to do?
The first thing that I would tell them to do, what really helped me was actually assessing my values as a person.
Mm,
Understanding myself, get out there and read some books on positive mindset,
yeah,
just the basics, just to shift where you are right now. Get yourself out there on places on your own and
yeah,
stop depending on people. And you've got to kind of try and push yourself. One thing that I helps is always coming outside of my body and talking to myself in third person,
okay,
naming the fear, stepping outside and really going, like, what's going to happen? If I go and have this coffee, what's
mm,
going to happen to me? What's the reality of that? Just trying to rationalize it and calm yourself down rather than being so in your head with the shakiness and anxiety. Step outside for a minute, write it down. What will happen to me if I put myself out there and do it?
mm.
What's the worst? You're not going to die.
What's the best? Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Case scenarios, you're going to die of everything, right? But if you're
Mm.
going out for coffee on your own, hopefully you don't anyway. You shouldn't die.
And how could she begin choosing herself if even if nothing can I speak there? Even if nothing externally changes yet. So quite a lot of people obviously put a lot of it on external, like their external or other externals. What can this woman who we're speaking to, what can she begin choosing for herself today?
Just like one thing. What
Yeah.
one thing do you enjoy doing? And whether that
Mm,
is 10 minutes reading a book, whether you're into meditation, what are you into?
mm.
whether it is
100%.
treating yourself or talking to somebody. I found because I was really private and didn't really want to show the real vulnerability, I used to journal
Mm,
instead and use the journal as a friend to talk to so that I didn't show anyone what I was really feeling because I didn't want to
yeah.
seem weak.
Yeah. With journaling, I do that as well. I definitely journal every day, and it's something that I prompt women to do as well, or anybody to do, to be fair, because it's just good, because your brain's so busy, isn't it? It's just good to get a bit of kind of clarity. But what I get asked a lot is, or what I get the kind of back of that is, I don't know how to journal. So what would you say to somebody if they were saying, I don't know how to journal?
You don't know how to journal, just start writing. Like, what's
Mm,
going on with you today?
mm,
Where are you currently sat? And I actually have journals like this that say I am sat on the toilet because
yeah,
that's
because you
but
get that.
where are you today? What are you doing? And it's really lovely when you look back on it to see where you were at that point to where you've come.
Hmm.
It helps with all manifestation and all that. It does work. Just get writing. Where am I today? What am I doing? Like, what's the weather like?
Yeah,
Where am I currently living?
yeah. How do you
Have you got
feel?
any plans tomorrow? How do you feel today? Because they'll
Hmm.
tell you this as well, like even if you're monitoring your menstrual cycle or anything like that, any food diaries, anything like that. Where are you? How do you feel? How is it feeling in your body? And then you
Hmm.
might start recognizing patterns of when you're at your lowest. And it could genuinely be tied into the moon cycle, menstrual cycle,
Yeah,
genuinely.
yeah.
But if you just note it down, I'm feeling like this today, or why? Because
Hmm.
just confide in it.
Yeah, and I think it's getting just a bit of a, like you say, awareness, isn't it? And awareness, because so I feel like so many people in this world today, because it is the way it is, are so disconnected. They're so disconnected from their feelings, and where they're feeling it and how they're feeling it, and that's probably quite, like, I don't even, like, how do I feel? I don't know how I feel. Do you know what I mean? Or they maybe put in something really superficial, but I suppose, see, even if it is superficial, it's a start, isn't it? It's like, that's how you start. My journals were probably like similar to yours, like, not really anything, not anything like anything meaty. Whereas now I'm much more reflective. I'm much more like I ask myself more deeper questions. But that's years down the line. Do you know what I mean? Years down the line, where it's like it's actually became practice. It's actually became something that, and again, there's no right, there's no wrong. Sometimes I will write nonsense still, because it's just the way it is, isn't it?
There's so much pressure in the world of everything, especially with social media, even in the realms of when they're saying about what to journal. Nothing has to be that bloody deep. We
Mm,
don't have to go that deep all the time. It is
yeah,
just a slight reflection of where you are in that current moment.
yeah, yeah.
Don't pressure yourself to have it done. You know, I used to pressure myself about meditation and absolutely freak out, going, I can't meditate, I can't sit still, I can't switch off, I can't do it, and punish myself, thinking, but I must do this to better myself.
Yeah,
Find something that works for you because it's
yeah.
different for everyone. Some people will be movement and exercise, there's singing, there's reading, there's journaling, there is your
Mm,
meditation, yoga, whatever. There's going to
mhm.
be a method for you that gives you a peace of mind. And it's about just even creating that 10 minutes a day where it is for myself. And it's
Yeah,
just to connect with my body and my mind and check in where I'm at and how I'm feeling. You
yeah,
don't have to ask the whys of, like, you don't have to ask why you're feeling that way and what
yeah,
happened 20 years ago to make you feel that way. It doesn't have to be that deep. Just
yeah, yeah,
focus on the now.
yeah. And I suppose there's no right or wrong either, because we're all so individual. It doesn't really matter what you write or what you do. It's like everybody's individual, and whatever works for them, like you say, that's what works for them, isn't it?
You
Uh,
don't have to share it.
Yeah,
It's your journey.
absolutely,
Share it.
absolutely. But you spoke about a few times about values. I totally agree with you with the values thing, because I think, again, so many people in this world live in other people's values, because they maybe haven't opened up the even option that they can have their own values. What would you say to somebody who was looking, like, who maybe you've said the word values, or I've said the word values, and they're a bit like, what does that even mean? How would they look at their values? How would they explore what that looked like?
So this is where it's like the beliefs about it can be like the beliefs about the world, your beliefs about yourself. So I give the thing like integrity,
Mm,
respect, kindness.
mhm,
Those are values. And you can even, if you really don't know nothing, we've got such things like Google on that now.
Yeah, yeah.
Google might be old now. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's changing so quick.
I still use it.
I don't think do people Google anymore, but you can just even Google that and say what is a value.
Mm.
So
And
if you're
it's just about getting honest with yourself as well, isn't it?
So
Like you.
what's important to you? And if you had to fight for something in the world, what would you fight for? So I'm like
Mhm.
a justice person. I would be someone who stood up for someone who was being bullied
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I believe in justice and fairness.
Mhm.
What gives you drive? What do you think about the world?
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, or like I said earlier on, sometimes we can be living in somebody else's, or often our parents, isn't it? But actually, when you start to look at these things, you're like, hold on a minute, and then you realise that actually you don't hold the same values actually as maybe your parents, and then that opens up a whole other like
Yeah,
understanding or kettle of fish. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, hard working and working till you die. And as long
Yeah,
as you have a job, doesn't matter. You don't have to be happy, but
yeah.
work is everything.
And that's that generation though as well, isn't it? I would say my dad's quite similar. Like probably my mum and dad are quite similar. When I bought my house, I had for a very short period of time I was working like in a because I've always been self-employed, but I was working in this residential care facility, and I had done like a wee training program. Kind of part of the reason why when I was looking in the minds and the mental health and all that sort of stuff, I kind of went into this role as working with young people who were in residential care. And I hated it. Like it was so against my values. I was miserable, not because of the kids. I loved the kids and I loved working with the kids, but it was the environment, it was the staff, it was that institutionalized like power control thing that I was like, this is not okay. Like this is not okay. So I was miserable. And when I bought my house, I quit my job that same day. And my mum was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I was like, Mum, I can't. I am not spending my life miserable. Like, I will make it work. I will make other things work because I am not spending. I'm not being that person who's in that job just for the money and hating every second that I'm there and exhausted and all the rest of it. Like, I'm just not doing it. And it's funny how I think our generation is definitely a generation that's like creating change, isn't it? Like, we're like, no, we're not actually standing for that anymore.
Yeah, definitely. And that builds onto the whole thing about relationships is relationships aren't just romantic, it's
Yeah.
friendships, family, work. It's all related. So if you're an overgiver, people pleaser, it's going to
Mm,
happen at work. And even values are key there. Like you said, your values weren't aligned and you had to leave. And that's
hmm.
exactly the same what happened to me.
Yeah.
And it just oozes off you. You're going to feel resistance, you will feel discomfort, you're going to
Hmm.
start getting angry in these kind of places
Yeah.
because it isn't aligned with you, and that's perfectly fine. But
Yeah.
also, you've got to take a step out of it for the sake of other people as well. So, like
Yeah.
for my job, I ended up quitting saying I'm toxic here because I really hate it. And there's
Yeah.
going to be loads of people that are happy to sit in this room listening to this crap, but I
Hmm.
ain't happy doing that. So,
Yeah.
for both parties, it's healthy to step away.
100%. So how has your own transformation now? You, like you said, you stepped out of the corporate world, and you now coach women. Am I right in saying you coach women, single women, business owners?
Single independent women, yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the ones that have come from like similar relationships who want to build healthy relationships with men, and they're stuck in that place of not trusting right now.
So your job is to help them, like, break the toxic cycles. Excuse me, break the toxic cycles, understand themselves better in order to find love.
Healthy relationships. So I
Yeah.
don't focus on finding you a man, like that's not the importance. The
Yeah.
importance about her and being a healthy relationship is a whole outlook.
Yeah.
So that you're
100%.
ready to receive, and the point is being ready to receive love and open and understanding what your boundaries are and who you
Yeah.
are as a person and why you are the way that you are and forgiving yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you can be your best self. That's when, like, that they say that you attract what you are, don't they? So if you can be your best self, then that's putting that out to the universe, if you like. So how is your own transformation? Obviously, this will be a massive part as to why you've went into this work. But how has it shaped the work that you've done with women? Is it like you are literally coaching the former version of you?
Yeah, so it's like the
Yeah.
former version of me Probably not the beginning one.
Yeah, yeah.
The beginning one, you need to go through some other trauma therapy, and I'm not a
Mm.
trauma-informed coach, so I would always recommend seeking therapy, especially if you've come from narcissistic
Yeah,
violence.
100%.
I'm more the next one who she's felt empowered because she's left. She knows she wants love and she's done settling, but just can't quite understand why she's not meeting the people. So something's not ticking for her here.
Yeah,
And it's about
amazing.
and about being okay on your own and in
Hmm.
receipt of it, letting it go because it will come when
Yeah,
you are really genuinely okay with yourself. Because these women like me will put up a front like, I'm okay, I don't care, I don't want kids, I love partying, I've got a good job, having a good time. It's about being honest with yourself. Like,
yeah,
yeah, actually
100%.
want these things. And when you're asked, your walls up going, no, I don't want it. Just in
Yeah.
case you don't get it, in case you fail, because failure
Mm.
is not an option for this type of woman.
Yeah, 100%. Amazing. Where can we find you? Like, where can listeners find you and connect with you?
Okay, so I'm on Instagram. That's what I mainly use, and it's at Gemma.ashleycoaching. And I'm also on
Amazing.
Facebook. It's Gemma Ashley Turner. So I use those two platforms. I'm a dinosaur. I just like being there. We haven't mastered TikTok yet. There is a TikTok, but that's another realm that I'm
Do
working
you
on at
know
the moment.
what? There's so many though, isn't there? There's so many. It's a whole job in itself. Just doing all
It,
that.
looking at like it now, and I put the video and I go, oh, hang on, it's under my chins, and I film myself here doing something. I don't know. So yeah, Instagram, Facebook, that's where I am, and you'll see a link to my stand store where you can book calls with me, and yeah, we can take it from there. And you'll see all
Amazing.
about through all that.
Yeah, and amazing. And so many people, I think when you're in the coaching space, it is so important that you have been there, isn't it? It's so important. That's where people will resonate because you've actually, I mean, not to say like I'm an advocate for all types of coaching, not to say that a therapist or a counsellor is not good because they obviously absolutely are, but sometimes you have to have that shared like understanding, don't you, rather than it being like a textbooky type thing. And that's
Yeah,
what then people will be drawn to you because they've got that shared experience, isn't it?
yeah. And what I use on mine is I have structured worksheets that take you from phases of the awareness, acceptance, understanding to forgiveness and the rebuild, now your future self, where everything's going to go. And it's very structured in a way that it's a journey
Yeah.
to take you from beginning to end. Because I know this work and everything I use is stuff that I've used and done myself.
Yeah,
I've taken from it. So I know that it works personally because I've done everything.
you've done it. Yeah, 100%. I'm the exact same. Well, thank you so much for spending the afternoon with me. I'm very, very grateful. And I'll pop like, your Instagram link in the show notes as well so people can just click you straight to there. All right. So we're going to start the pod right now. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to connect with me or Gemma, then please do get in touch. Both of our Instagrams will be in the show notes. And thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye.